Hello everyone, we are going to discuss about critical path method, or in short called CPM, in project management. Let us consider a project which has these several activities A, B, C up to K, and these are the immediate predecessors, and the time duration required to complete the activities are given in the last part of this table, and the durations are in weeks. As per example, consider the activities A and B with no immediate predecessors. That means the activities A and B do not depend on the other activities. So we can start the activities A and B immediately. Next, consider the activity C. It has one immediate predecessor B. That means the activity C can be started only after the completion of the activity B. Next, consider the activity D. It has two immediate predecessors A and B. That means the activity D can be started only after the completions of the activities A and B both. Similarly for the other activities. Now the target is to complete the project within the minimum possible time. Now if the activities are done one after another, then we find that the total time required to complete the project is 22 weeks, and which is obviously not the minimum time that we find. But if we look carefully, we shall find that there are some activities which can be done parallelly. So we have to identify those activities which can be done parallelly. In this process, we shall find that there will be two types of activities. There will be some activities where any delay on these activities will cause the delay in the project. That means if we do any delay in the activities, then the total time required to complete the project will not be minimum. But there will be some activities where some delays will not hamper the completion time of the project. The first task is to express this project in terms of a network, which will be called project network. So there are two possible ways to express this project in terms of networks, which are called AOA and AON. So what is the meaning of AOA? It is called activities on arcs. That means every arc of the network will represent an activity. AON is called activities on nodes. That means every node of the network will represent an activity. So in this problem, we shall use activities on nodes. That means we shall express this project in terms of a network where every node of the network will represent an activities. So let us start. The first node will be the start. It, so this is the starting node. It does not represent any activity. From the table we find that two activities A and B have no immediate predecessors. That means we can start the activities A and B simultaneously from the start. So here we have drawn two nodes A and B that represent the activities A and B respectively, and here we find that the activities A and B have no immediate predecessors. So from the start we can simultaneously start both the activities A and B. Next, from the table I find that the activity C has one immediate predecessor B, and the activity D has two immediate predecessors A and B. So the activity C can be started only after the completion of the activity B, and the activity D can be started only after the completions of the activities A and B. Here we have expressed the activities C and D by these two nodes C and D respectively, and we find that the immediate predecessor of C is B and the immediate predecessors of D are A and B. Next we find that for the activity E there are two immediate predecessors A and C, and here is the activity E which has two immediate predecessors A and C. Next, consider the two activities F and G, which have a common immediate predecessor A. That means we can start the activities F and G simultaneously after the completion of the activity A. So here we have represented the activities F and G by these two nodes F and G with common immediate predecessor A. Next, consider the activity H with two immediate predecessors C and G. So here is the activity H with two immediate predecessors C and G. Next, consider the next two activities I and J with immediate predecessors H and I respectively. So here they have represented the activities I and J by these two nodes I and J respectively with the immediate predecessors H and I respectively. Finally, consider the activity K with the immediate predecessors C and F. So here is the activity K with the immediate predecessors C and F. So these are the possible activities of the project which have to be completed. Now once the activities are done, then the final node will be the finish. Here is the last node, that is finish. It does not represent any activity, but it is the finishing node. Now we shall connect all the activities with no successor to this last node finish. Consider the activity K, it has no successor, so we connect K to finish. Next, consider the activity E, it has no successor, so we add E to finish. Consider the activity D, it has no successor, so we add D to finish. And finally J. So this is called the project network, and it is of the form AON, that means activities on the nodes, and the direction of the arrows indicates the successor of any activity. As for example, consider the activity C, it has it has three successors E, K and H, and similarly for the other activities. Now from this project network we shall identify the critical path and the critical activities. Now which is the critical path? So there are several paths from start to finish, so we have to identify one path with the maximum total time required to complete the activities on the paths. That will be the critical path. Now to find the critical path, we shall express this project network in some compact form. Here is our project network. Here we have expressed the project network in some compact form, where in place of every node we have used a box. Now the box contains 4 spots which are to be filled by some specific data. Now the format of the box should be like that. It has 4 spots. So we shall fill these boxes by some data which will be called the ES, EF, LS and LF. So what is the meaning of ES? ES means earliest start time. Earliest start time of an activity. EF means earliest finish time of the activity. LS means latest start time. So LS means latest start time of the activity, and LF means latest finish time of the activity. That means we have to find the earliest time that the activity can be started and the latest time that the activity can be started. Also, the time duration for each activities are shown in these nodes. So 2 is the time required to complete the activity A, similarly for the other activities. Now we shall find the earliest start time and earliest finish time of all the activities by the method called the forward pass. Now we start with two activities A and B. As we know that the activities A and B have no immediate predecessors, so we can start the activities A and B at 0 time. So 0 is the earliest start time of the activities A and B. Now the activity A requires 2 weeks. So what is the earliest finish time? It requires 2 weeks. So 2 is the earliest finish time of the activity A. Consider the activity B. It required only 1 week. So the earliest finish time of the activity B is 1. Next, consider the activity C. Now the activity C can be started only after completion of the activity B. Now the earliest finish time of the activity B is 1 week. So the earliest start time of the activity C is 1 week. Now it requires 2 weeks. So earliest finish time of the activity C is 1 plus 2, that is 3 weeks. Next, consider the activity D. It has two immediate predecessors A and B. So the activity D can be started only after completion of the activities A and B both. Now the earliest finish times of the activities A and B are 2 weeks and 1 week respectively. So the activity D can be started only after 2 weeks when both the activities A and B are done. Now D requires 2 weeks, so the earliest finish time of D is 2 plus 2, that is 4 weeks. Okay, consider the next activity E. Now it has two immediate predecessors A and C. So the earliest start time of the activity of E should be maximum of these 2 and 3. That means 3 is the earliest start time of the activity E when both the activities A and C are done. Now E requires 3 weeks, so 3 plus 3 is 6. So 6 is the earliest finish time of the activity E. Next, consider the activity F, which has only one immediate predecessor A. So the activity F can be started after the completion of the activity A. Now the earliest finish time of the activity A is 2 weeks. So the earliest start time of activity F should be 2 weeks, and it requires 2 weeks. So 2 plus 2 equal to 4. This is the earliest finish time of the activity F. Next, consider the activity G. Again, it has only one immediate predecessor, that is A. So the activity G can be started as early as after 2 weeks. And it requires 1 week. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 is the earliest finish time of the activity G. Okay, next consider the activity H. It has two immediate predecessors, C and G. So the activity H can be started only after the completion of the activities C and G both. Now we find that the activities C and G are completed after 3 weeks. So the activity H can be started after 3 weeks when both the activities C and G are done. Now it requires only 1 week, so 4 is the earliest finish time of the activity H. Next, consider the activity I with only one immediate predecessor H. So the earliest start time of the activity I is 4 and it requires 1 week. So earliest finish time of the activity I is 4 plus 1, that is 5. Next, consider the activity J. Now J can be started after 5 weeks when the activity I is done. So it is 5. Plus 4 is the time required to complete the activity J. So earliest finish time is 5 plus 4, 9. Next, consider the activity K. It has two immediate predecessors C and F. So the activity K can be started only after completion of the activities C and F both. Now we find that the activities C and F are done after 4 weeks. So we write here 4. And it requires 3 weeks, so 4 plus 3 is 7. So 7 is the earliest finish time of the activity K. Now the earliest start time and earliest finish time of all the activities are done. Now we have to find what is the least or what is the minimum time required to complete all the activities. Here we find that the maximum time required to complete the activities are 9. So this 9 is the least time required to complete all the activities. That means to complete the project. So 9 is the minimum time or minimum weeks required to complete the project. Now we shall find the latest start time and the latest finish time of the activities by backward pass. First of all, consider the activity J. Now what is the time, now what is the minimum time required to complete the project? That is 9 weeks, and 9 is the earliest finish time of the activity J. So the latest finish time of the activity J should be 9 weeks, and the activity J requires 4 weeks, so latest start time of the activity J is 5. So if we start the activity J after 5 weeks, then the minimum times required to complete the project should be greater than 9. So this 5 and 9 are the latest start time and latest finish time of the activity J. Now consider the activity K. Now earliest finish time of the activity K is 7 weeks, but the project needs 9 weeks. So the latest we can finish the activity K should be 9. Now K requires 3 weeks. So the latest we can start the activity K is 9 minus 3, that is 6 weeks. So 6 weeks is the latest time that we can start the activity K, so that the project can be completed within the stipulated time, that is 9 weeks. Okay, next consider this activity E. Similarly, we can find that the activity E can be finished latest by 9 weeks. So this is the total time required to complete the project. So 9 is the latest finish time of the activity E, and it requires 3 weeks. So 6 is the latest start time of the activity E. Okay, next consider the activity D. Again we find that the latest we can finish the activity D should be 9, because this is the last activity of this path. So 9 is the latest finish time of the activity D, and it requires 2 weeks. So 9 minus 2, 7. 7 is the latest start time of the activity D. Okay, next we consider the activity I. Now the latest the activity J can be started is 5 weeks. Now the activity J can be started only after completion of the activity I. So the latest finish time of the activity I should be this 5 weeks, so that we can start the activity J latest by 5 weeks, such that the project can be finished within 9 weeks. Now similarly it should be 4. So 1 is the time required to complete the activity I. So 5 minus 4, 1 equal to 4. This is the latest start time of the activity I. Consider the activity H. Here we find that 4 should be the latest finish time of the activity H, because we have to start the activity I latest by 4 weeks. So this 4 weeks the latest finish time of the activity H, and it should be 3. Okay. Next we move to the activity G. Now the activity H can be started only after the completion of the activity G, and we have to start the activity H latest by 3 weeks. So the activity G must be completed within 3 weeks. So this 3 is the latest finish time of the activity G, and it requires 1 week. So 2. This is the latest start time of the activity G. Next consider the activity F. Now the activity K can be started only after the completion of the activity F, and here we find that latest we can start the activity K is 6 weeks. So the latest time that we can finish the activity F should be 6, and the latest start time is 6 minus 2, that is 4. Next we consider the activity C. Now here we find that the activities E, K and H, these 3 activities can be started only after the completion of the activity C. Out of these 3 activities, H should be started within 3 weeks, such that we can finish the project within the stipulated time, that is 9 weeks. So the activity C must be completed within 3 weeks, such that we can start the activity H on time. So this C should be the latest finish time of the activity C, and what should be the latest start time? It is 3 minus 2, that is 1. Now consider the activity B. Here we find that there are two activities D and C which can be started only after the completion of the activity B. So the activity, here we find that the activity B must be completed within 1 week such that we can start the activity C on time. One is the latest start time of the activity C. So the latest time we have to finish the activity B is 1 week, and it requires 1 week, so it is 1 minus 1 0. This is the latest start time of the activity B. Similarly for the activity A, now there are four activities F, G, E and D which can be started after the completion of the activity A, and out of these four activities the minimum of the latest start time is 2. So we have to start the activity G latest by 2 weeks. Therefore we have to finish the activity A by 2 weeks. So this is the latest finish time of the activity A. And what is the latest start time? It should be 2 minus 2, it is 0. So these are the latest start time and latest finish time of the activities. Next we shall find the slack time for each activity. Now we shall define the slack time as, so slack time, it should be calculated by ls minus es. That means latest start time minus earliest start time, or alternatively we can calculate it by lf minus ef, latest finish time minus earliest finish time. So from all the activities we can easily find the slack times. As for activity K, the slack time is 6 minus 4, that is 2. For the activity J, slack time is 5 minus 5 0. So similarly we can calculate all the slack times. So here we have calculated all the slack times for the activities. Now the task is to find the critical path. So which is the critical path? Now the critical path is the path with with maximum time required to complete the activities. Now alternatively we can find the critical path by slack times. Now the critical path is that path where slack times for all the activities are 0. Here we find that there are two paths where all the slack times are 0. One is from start to B to C to H to I to J to finish, and another one is from start to A to G to H to I to J to finish. So we write all the critical paths here. These are the two possible critical paths. One is from start to B to C to H to I to J to finish, and another critical path is from start to A to G to H, sorry, should be I, H to I, and then from I to J to finish. Now what is the minimum time required to complete the activities? It is, so 9 is the minimum time required to complete the project. Now we shall identify the critical activities. Now the critical activities are those activities with the 0 slack times. So here we find that the activities A, B, C, H, I, J and G. These are the critical activities. Here we have represented the earliest start time, earliest finish time, latest start time and the latest finish time, also the slack times for all the activities by a table. Now instead of constructing this table, we can find all this data from the project network, but here from this table we can also find the critical activities. Here we find that the critical activities are those activities with the 0 slack times. Here we find that the activities A, B, C, G, H, I, J, these are the critical activities, and these are the data we have already found from the project network. Now, so these activities A, B, C, G, H, I, J. So we have to complete these activities without any delay, because any delay on these activities will ultimately cause the delay in the project. But there are some activities D, E, F and K, some specific delay can be bearable. As for example, consider the activity D. Here you see that earliest start time of the activity is 2 and the latest start time is 7. So we can start the activity D anywhere between 2 weeks and 7 weeks, such that we can complete the project within 9 weeks. Similarly, the activity E can be started anywhere between 3 weeks and 6 weeks. So these are the result we need to obtain, and the total time required to complete the project is 9 weeks, and the critical paths are given by these two paths, and these are the critical activities, or alternatively the critical activities are given in the table with 0 slack times. So that completes the solution. Thank you.